are going to continue with part 2 right now. And we are going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly from this Green Bay game. I think we just covered the better and the best in a way because we talked about the best. The Bears are officially the best comeback team in the NFL. And Caleb Williams is officially the best comeback quarterback under the age of 25 since Peyton Manning. I think awesome. We got those two things clarified. So this was the better, best reaction. Stay tuned. We got the good, better, best show starting right now, everybody. And it is the good, the better, and the best. And let's just jump right into it, shall we? We've got some unsung heroes on my list of good for the Bears in this game, Nika. And I want to start right away with number 8.
Number 8?
Number 8, Cairo Santos. As you can see there, the Bears tweeting out at 6:07 p.m., just a little bit before the game started. It's time. And Captain Cairo is featured in this picture that I grabbed. And I did that for a reason because Cairo Santos is by far the biggest unsung hero of this Bears comeback victory. Not only was he 3 for 3 in strong lakefront winds outdoors, he played this wind like a professional golfer out there, everybody. Like he was just dropping them dead center. Like he just beautiful stuff out there. No pressure. He didn't break, he didn't shank one. We've seen some mistakes from Cairo this year, and we've seen some Bears fans calling for his head at times. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, it's a good thing we had him here.
Absolutely. I know we were kind of on the fence with him at the beginning of the season, but that changed.
Yeah, it changed for sure. I'm definitely glad that he is our kicker right now heading into January, because if the Bears are able to achieve their goals, there will be more playoff football outdoors at Soldier Field in January, and this may come in handy.
Oh, definitely.
So him knocking those 3 field goals that the Bears needed, that was their only points with 1:59 left in the game. It's still crazy to say out loud, but we're not done celebrating Cairo because he wasn't done, folks. After drilling that third final field goal from 43 yards away, he goes and does it again with the onside kick. And if you don't know, the NFL has changed their whole kickoff rules, and as a result, the players don't line up with the kicker anymore. And if they want to do an onside kick, they're still able to, but they have to kind of declare and say we're doing an onside kick ahead of time. So not only does everybody in the building know what you're about to do, the more important thing is the receiving team knows what you're about to do, and they have a special team for that called the hands team. And late in games when teams were down by 10 and there's 2 minutes left and the only way they're going to get the ball back is if they onside kick, there's a special team called the hands team that generally goes in for these moments. But I just want to point it out because since the NFL has changed the kickoff rules, onside kicks have dramatically dropped with their percentage of success.
Okay.
So having said that, Cairo comes in and just kicks a beauty, and Romeo Doubs. Sorry, buddy. He kind of did like what you're not supposed to do as like a baseball infielder. He let the ball play him. He didn't go and play the ball. He let it take an extra bounce. And when it didn't bounce exactly where he thought it was going to bounce. And then it bounced off of his fingers and it was a loose ball. And the Bears recover this. This is amazing. So kudos to Cairo for putting the right spin on that kick. It's not an easy thing to do, but it is something that you practice.
Okay.
And so he made the kicks of his life, both from the field goal range and from the tee here for the onside kick. Just a master class in onside kicking.
And the wind, somebody had to hold the ball because how windy it was.
Yes. It was all around great kicking performance, and it shouldn't go unnoticed as being probably one of the main reasons why the Bears even had a chance to do this comeback.
Yes.
All right. Great job, Cairo. Thank you for winning over Bears faithful all over the city, because I don't think anyone wants him replaced anymore after this. All right. I want to turn my attentions next to Mr. DJ Moore, everybody. DJ Moore, of course, we know he made the final catch on that touchdown, the 46-yarder, and it was a beautiful catch, as we showed you earlier in the reaction show, because the defender was all up on him as he was trying to make that catch. And I don't know if there would have been a flag called or not because there wasn't one thrown yet. You know,
Right.
well, DJ Moore not only caught that pass, but he stepped up in a huge moment in this game for the Bears. He had 5 receptions for 97 yards in this game, and that is without Roma Dunze on the field. That is without Luther Burden III on the field, both of them missing this game with injury. DJ Moore, big time step up, especially after just 2 weeks ago, he had a 1 reception game for -4 yards against the very same Packers at their place. Way to turn it around and step it up in this moment. Also took a cheap shot at the beginning of this game from Nixon on the Packers. Same guy that was covering him at the end of the game, by the way.
Same guy knocked
Same
him
guy
down.
that intercepted Caleb Williams to end the first game at Lambeau Field. You know, there's been a lot of talk about hits, and we're going to talk about that before we get out of here. But there was a little bit of both sides going on that I think the Packers are a little bit reluctant to acknowledge because it didn't necessarily work out the same way for them, did it? They lost players.
Okay, that's fair enough. But
Anyways.
both teams were really amped up.
They were. I just want to point out that was not an easy shot that DJ Moore took to the back. Those blindside hits are dangerous. You can bite through your tongue, you know?
Well, he was massaging his back for a minute
He
when he came back.
It was so huge on him. I won't be surprised if he's on the injury report this week, but we're not there yet. We'll know more as the week progresses. Last guy I want to mention here, Jade Walker. What a huge catch in a big moment at the end of the fourth quarter to even send this game to overtime. Just amazing stuff here.
Beautiful catch.
A toe tapper, as they call it, in the corner of the end zone. Great job securing the catch, getting both feet down in bounds. Can't ask for it to be done any better. And he is an undrafted rookie, everybody. And he did not have a catch in the NFL before Saturday night. He gets 2 catches in the game, including this game-tying touchdown catch in the fourth quarter. And he's kind of a special story, not just for being undrafted, but he wound up moving in with QB1, Caleb Williams, for a little bit, and they developed a little bit of a bond together. They went and worked out together in the mornings and stuff. And, you know, Caleb Williams is a mature guy, you know, for his age, handling all this.
Feels like he took him under his wing.
It feels like he took him under his wing and developed a little bit of a bond with him. And it's great to see it pay off in this season in a meaningful moment. You know, you can't ask for it to be scripted any better than that, really.
Yep.
So just big shout out for him coming through, especially, again, Rome Odunze out, Luther Burden III out. These guys are big playmakers, you know?
Yeah, and it's great to see the other guys stepping up.
And Ben Johnson said before the game that he believes in the wide receiving core, and so good on them for owning up to those words. The Bears get 400 yards of total offense in this game, Nika. That is awesome. That is exactly what I said they needed to do before the game. If you remember Kenny's keys to victory, I said we need 250 yards through the air and 150 yards on the ground in order to win this game. And lo and behold, when you look at the stats afterwards,
ding, 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 you
ding,
win.
ding, ding, ding. I was spot on the money with that. So I got it. I nailed it.
You nailed it.
Good job, Bears. The Bears also win the turnover battle in this game. It just 1-0. There was one fumble in this game. The Packers did fumble a snap. The Bears fumbled a snap, but both teams recovered that. The Packers was a little more costly because it was on 4th and 1 in overtime and turned the ball over on downs to the Bears, but they did recover it nevertheless behind the line of scrimmage. Last thing about Jade Walker, everybody, if you haven't seen him do the electric slide, you should go check out the video that was posted on NFL X. This was at 10:19 a.m. on the 21st, so you got to go back to Sunday morning. But he looks like he's gliding out there after this catch. One of the best touchdown dance celebrations I've seen at Soldier Field in a long time, for sure. Great moves out there, and he was doing them in the locker room after the game as well. The vibes were immaculate, everybody. The Bears clinch. That's the good in all of this. Now, let's talk about the bad, everybody, because there was some bad. And I want to zero in on one specific bad moment in this game that I was fuming mad about early on. And that is, of course, the 4th down and 1 call from Ben Johnson to get into this wildcat formation somewhat and then run Cole Kmet in under center and then hike the ball through his legs to Kyle Monangai, who is not the tallest tool in the shed.
Yeah.
So you have this trick play that you're running on 4th and 1 in a crucial moment. You're inside the 5-yard line, by the way. And a first down even is possible just with a yard. And then you have 4 chances at the end zone. But nevertheless, it was not to be because that snap went sailing over Kyle Monangai's head and probably like 15 yards behind him before he secured the ball and just awful. And it was 4th down. So, of course, it was then Packers ball from wherever that ball was recovered. And, yeah, this was not my favorite play call for this moment for this Bears team because I just felt like here this was a failed opportunity to actually challenge the offensive lineman on your team early in the game and be like, come on, boys, go get me a yard. Go and get me a yard. And instead, we roll out this trick play that, to me, it just reeks of overthinking the moment.
Of course. It's a competition between the coaches. Both teams were trying to run a cute play at the end of the first quarter. And
you bring up a great point because what I haven't mentioned yet is this all happened with the Bears after the Packers themselves failed to convert their own 4th down on the other side of the field. So not only do you turn them away from scoring a touchdown early in the game, you get the ball back and march it all the way down to their 4-yard line.
Yeah.
And then do this. And it just made no sense to me in the moment. And I was just like, this whole moment, really, this moment was one of the biggest moments of this whole game because this allowed Green Bay to change the entire dynamic. Instead of our running game dominating the time of possession like normal, Green Bay played a game of keep away with us from this point forward. They didn't let us like have the ball back. They ate clock. They used our own medicine against us.
Yep.
You know, they turned the tables, everybody. They held the ball longer in this game, not us. And that is our like bread and butter this year. That's our key to winning. That's always in my keys to victory because it's become such a staple of our team. And yet we didn't get it done against the Packers here. They kind of learned from their first game against us, I think, where, you know, we had a chance to tie them at the end of that. Here, not so much. This was not my favorite play call again from Ben Johnson here. So hopefully if we're in this position again this season or in the future, just run the damn ball. Just QB sneak it. You know, I mean, like tush push, whatever. Like if you turn the ball over at the 4 or the 3-yard line or whatever, it's a lot better than the 20. It's a lot better than snapping the ball 15 yards over the guy's head and on 4th down. So I just trick plays can be helpful. You know, I wouldn't have hated it here, honestly, early in the first half. And I know Ben Johnson loves to hang on to his timeouts, but I wouldn't have hated it if he would have set up for this trick play and tried to get the Packers to call a timeout and burn a timeout. But if you play that game, you have to be prepared to call a timeout yourself and be like, okay, they didn't fall for it. Let's set up a real play. That's a high risk, high reward situation. Go ahead and gamble a little bit. First half is better than the second half. You want to save all your timeouts for the end of the game for sure, whenever you can. But anyways, all right. Well, this was the bad. Let's move on to the ugly, everybody.
There was some ugly in this game.
There was some ugly in this game, and a lot of it was early on in this game. The Bears really, they seemed a bit overcome with this whole moment of this game. You know, this was a huge game leading into it. First place on the line for the second time in 3 weeks, and the Bears did not meet this moment as I would hope as a fan. In fact, it was like kind of the opposite. Personal foul penalties, 3 of them, you know, in the first quarter alone. I think the fourth one on Jordan Love came later, or I'm sorry, the third one on Jordan Love came in the second quarter. So we had 2 personal fouls in the first quarter in the first moments of this game. You know,
amped up. Players were way too amped up. This rivalry was playing in their heads way too much.
Yeah, and you want guys to be amped up for a game, but you don't want it to cross the line into like stupidity. And that's what this was. I hate to call it anything other than that, but these were stupid penalties. This was the exact opposite of how you wanted to start the game. And I was just like, disgusted watching the Packers march down the field. And then when we turned them away, I was like, oh, that was lucky, almost. That I wasn't necessarily feeling great about the defensive performance there because of those penalties. Like, this is stupid. Let's not digress into this. Well, another 15-yarder came later, and this was the one that like I hated seeing because it knocked Jordan Love out of the game. And not only do you not want to see the other team lose players that make the game less competitive per se, but also whenever you take out the opposing team's quarterback with a hit, I think it makes your quarterback, in contrast, now a target for the other team. They're going to want to get you back. So that's not a situation that we want to be putting Caleb Williams in out there. We don't want to be putting a big bullseye in his back and have malicious, angry dogs in the trenches coming for him. Like, we don't want that. It's already a physical enough game. Now, the hit itself, Austin Booker put on Jordan Love, I'm 50-50 on this one. Like, as someone that played the game and got taught the fundamentals of the game, like, his head was up, his shoulders were forward. This is how we train guys to tackle people. Jordan Love is the one that braced for contact and lowered his head into the plane of where Austin Booker's head was at. They're playing fast, high-speed football. I'll be curious to see if the NFL finds him or not and what they think. I won't be shocked if they do because of the nature of the concussion. It's apparently not good. I don't think he's going to play this weekend. But
really?
It's too early to say.
It's too early because...
But they do play Saturday, so he doesn't have the extra day. And he was really woozy looking to me.
Yeah.
You see guys like that get knocked around and you think maybe not, maybe not. This one, there was no doubt to me that he was concussed, and I'm not surprised that he left the game.
But it wasn't a malicious intent. It was not.
It was not a dirty play per se. And I think that's the big takeaway from this hit for me is like, I don't see this as a dirty play. If the same thing happened to Caleb Williams, I would not be saying that the Packers player was aiming for his head. I would try to have a little bit enough of a nuance of the game to be like, okay, well, that sucks. But this is unfortunately something that's become a part of the NFL. And I know we want to protect quarterbacks. I know we want to do these things. I mean, I think just it's better off if all these calls get reviewed from now on. I don't know if the refs would have looked at the replay and been like, oh, Jordan Love kind of ducked right into that at the last minute. Like, how are we supposed to hold the defensive player accountable for that, especially a personal foul? I get emotions are heated over things like this, and we didn't lose our quarterback, and they lost theirs. So it's a lot easier for Packer fans to probably hold a grudge about this.
Of course. But if the roles were reversed, we will be up in arms about it too, probably.
100%. But back to the penalties and the ugliness of that. I mean, that's 4 penalties for 60 yards right there. You couple that with the rest of the game, 10 penalties for 105 yards in this game for the Bears. That's a big ouch. Yeah. We don't want to regress back to the early season.
11 penalties.
That was some ugliness. And the Bears sort of started to get better in this week after week after week. This was the first real serious setback that I think we've had in a long time with this. So hopefully that this is a teaching and a learning moment for everybody on this team, because we don't need this going forward. We need to be playing tight, fundamentally sound football and level-headed football. Play aggressive, yes. Play to the whistle, yes.
Play full 60 minutes.
Don't be stupid. If you can avoid, if somebody starts sliding, that's it. Just touch them. Don't hit them. Stop it.
Yeah.
You'll have plenty of opportunities to hit guys in the game, okay? You got to, control yourself a little bit out there. Well, that was the ugly for me.
Okay.
So, yeah, there was definitely some bad and some ugly in this game. And it doesn't take anything away from the victory for me. I want to make that clear. These are things that I want to talk about because I want the Bears to have higher aspirations this year than just winning the NFC North.
Or beating Packers.
Yeah, or just beating the Packers. We've seen teams in baseball like the Cubs be like, oh, we want to make the playoffs this year. And guess what? The Cubs did make the playoffs this year. But guess what? The Cubs also left the playoffs pretty early.
Very early.
Second round. That's not what I wanted to see as a Cubs fan. So
Ben Johnson mentioned that as well. We have higher aspiration, not just to win the division this season.
Absolutely. So some final thoughts here as we head into week 17. Just 2 weeks remaining. The Bears are going to the playoffs, everybody, and that is a thing to be celebrated. Yes, indeed. However, first, the Bears must make a trip to San Francisco, and I got to be honest, I was dreaming last night of Caleb Williams being at Hallis Hall in the theater side by side with his new coach, Ben Johnson, whom they've got this new bromance blooming, and just watching the Monday Night Football game together. Maybe even listening to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman and having another fist bump about how Caleb Williams has ditched out on them, twice this year? Oh, ouch. Sorry, Troy. Sorry, Joe. I guess maybe they don't like you like Caleb likes Tom Brady, because he sure likes Tom Brady. And Tom Brady likes Caleb Williams. So nevertheless, we'll be interested to see how that commentary evolves over the years on ESPN's Monday Night Football when the Bears make an appearance. Anyways, watching this game live and starting to look at the 49ers last night, boy, do they look scary, everybody. 48 to 27 win in Indianapolis. So they make the trip to the Midwest and dominate. Now the Bears have to make the trip out to San Francisco. And this game against the 49ers has a two-folded special meaning going into it that I think the Bears can use to their advantage. This is the game that the Bears can clinch the NFC North division title. A win against the 49ers and the Packers can do nothing. They can win out. The Lions can win out. No one can catch you if you take care of your own business. So that's fun and special, and it's going to be a challenge, everybody. It's a tough team over there. So we got to buckle up and get ready to work after this emotional win. Yes. You know, you can have a letdown after big emotional wins. I have confidence in the coaching staff that they will not let that happen. But Bears could be returning to this very same stadium and this very same grass in February to play for a certain trophy. In Super Bowl 60, everybody, 40 years after the 1985-86 team. Wow, just some food for thought as we digest our Christmas dinners this week and watch the Lions play the Vikings on Christmas Day. What a meaningless game that's almost turned into.
Yeah.
They probably had really high hopes for that one when they were in
making
August.
the schedule.
But not so much anymore, thanks to the Vikings kind of taking.
It's changing of the guard when you look at the teams right now. It's not your typical.
It is.
Teams
and
that make it.
That has made this NFL season so much fun. And you know what? It's been so much fun that I can't stop talking about it, everybody. And so we're going to be back again tomorrow doing a special Christmas NFL preview because we got 3 games on Christmas Day. We've got more Saturday football this week. We've got Sunday football and, of course, Monday Night Football one more time. So buckle up. Get ready. Stay with us, folks. This is the Kanika Sports Show. Go Bears!